Hello, welcome to Kindred StitchFolk, everybody. Thank you for coming back, for joining. I really appreciate all of you. I have been offline for about a month. January was pretty rough January. You might still hear it in my voice. My son came down with the stomach flu a couple weeks ago, and I got it, I can't remember if it was the second or the third day, and then my husband got it the next day. So we were all sick. And then that following Sunday, my son started coughing, and by Sunday night he had 104 fever, and I took him to his doctor, and his doctor was like, well, he's 3 years old. I'm not going to test him for COVID. I'm not going to do that test on him. And honestly, if he has the flu, we're not going to do anything different than what you're already doing. So it doesn't really matter which he has. And by Wednesday, I had it. And so now here we are on week 2. Jimmy, his fever finally broke like Wednesday, but then he got the fever back again on Friday a little bit. And so it was rough. We literally just stayed in my bed. He slept with my husband and I for that full week. And because he had to be touching mommy. Like for me to go to the restroom or to get him a drink or to get him anything, he just immediately dissolved into tears because he was in so much pain that it just wasn't working. And so as a result, I haven't been recording, but I really appreciate your guys' patience, and I'm so grateful to be with you today. It's a beautiful day here in Anchorage, Alaska. It's been snowing off and on for the last 2 days. We've got a blanket of white outside. It's just so pretty, and it's not too cold. I mean, I'm freezing because I just ate lunch, and I always get cold after I eat. So, and things are getting really busy with my job again. Like I'm picking back up more clients again. I'm seeing 2 clients a day now. No, today I saw 4. Well, okay. So, it varies from day to day, but I'm trying still to keep my client load down so that I can continue to heal. I did see my doctor yesterday, and he's referring me to a specialist for my fibromyalgia, and he was not confident in my healing, so that he renewed my handicap placard. And so he says, after this, if we're still not satisfied, you're getting a permanent placard. And I was like, great. Yay! My life is just full of joy. There will be coughing. There will be sniffling. I probably will not. I'm going to try and make this as easy a recording as possible. So I'm not even sure I'm going to edit at all. Not even to put in pictures. I probably won't. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. But boy, howdy, have my little fingers been busy. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new starts. And I'm trying to hold myself back from a couple others. And I have been working really hard on my stitching and my Whipco board and everything. For the month of January, pulled out my Whip Warriors. I stitched every day in January except for, I think it was 3 days. Only 3 days out of January did I not stitch. And I have, I thought I did my totals. Darn. I stitched a lot, thousands and thousands of stitches. But there's some of my stitching that I can't count because they're on stamped kits and things like that. So I wasn't able to keep track of how many stitches I did on those. I am actually feeling really motivated with seeing the numbers of my stitches go up. So like in my markup XP, I really enjoy checking to see how fast of a stitcher I am. I don't think I'm a very fast stitcher. I'm noticing on average I get about 100 stitches an hour. So you know, I'm not that fast. I think there's people who can do that in like 15 minutes. I don't know. That's what I was thinking anyway. But especially when it's a counting stitch and counting cross stitch and not a stamped cross stitch, I'm a lot slower. But I enjoy this so much. I enjoy it so much. So I'm just grateful for the times I have. Let's see. I think what I'd like to do is start off with my WhipGo boards and how I progressed in January and now what I'm doing in February. So in January, the numbers called were number 2 and number 7. So space number 2 for me was to start a patriotic stitch. Remember, my goal is to do 13 stitches in this year for the bicentennial. Did I get that right? Semi-bicentennial, something like that. And so they can be smalls or they can be regular. I'm not going to tell myself that they have to be a certain size. I just want to stitch on 13 and I can complete all of them. It's if I want to, or I don't have to. But I'm just giving myself the leeway to stitch on patriotic stitching. And I'm actually finding that I'm really enjoying it. So, which is very surprising to me. And then the second number called was number 7, which was my Santa bear. And I got some more stitching on both on those. So let's start with my Santa bear, because you've seen that one. And I gotta give myself some space here. Ugh. Okay. So on my Santa bear, I was trying to do, go, here's my Santa bear, okay? There you go. Okay. And I was trying to go in order according to the key. So I started with the top number called, and then I was working my way down. But then when Jimmy got sick and I got sick, and I didn't want anything confetti stitching. So I actually switched that. I stopped doing that, and I started just working on the next biggest prominent color, which is yellow. And so I've done all the stitching in this corner. It's not very much, but you know, I got some done. And I'm in no hurry to get my Santa bear finished, so I'm okay with that. I don't know how many stitches I've done on this. I mean, I know I've done a lot in January. Everything that's brown I did in January. That doesn't look like too much, but it was. I'm showing you the back because you can see it there. So if I was to hold it this way, so like this is all brown. I'm going over here and over here, and then a bunch over in here. You can't really see it, right? But the finished piece is going to look like this. And I'm gonna have that up for Christmas. I'm so excited about that. It's gonna be amazing. I love it. It's got me itching to cast on a Teresa Kogut Santa. Like, I really like to do the Woodland Santa. That one is calling to me. Really like to do that. And I have decided to use these little tags on all my project bags now. So on one side it says what's in the project bag. And then on the other, it says the start date and the FO date. So I started this, I believe, if my memory is right, in October. But I actually think I started it, in November. But I believe I started it in October. But I'm not positive, of 2025. So then, for my patriotic one, I have this series from Waxing Moon Designs. I've got Liberty, Freedom, and Justice barns or houses, whatever you want to call them. Well, they're these two at minimum are barns. I'm not really sure about this one. This kind of looks like a barn to me, but it also kind of looks like a house. And I quickly figured out that I did not want to stitch from the paper pattern, so I recharted it in my charting program called Stitchly, I think it's called, and then I put that into Markup XP. That worked great. So I've been working on the Liberty barn. I have already charted up Freedom, and I need to still chart up Justice. So for this one, I was able to get done quite a lot, honestly, on my Liberty. I've outlined everything in the barn, and it's not a red. This red. Oh, a DMC. Okay, so it's, if you were doing classic Colorworks thread, it would be called ribbon red, but no, that's not right. Let me see. Let me check on my pad here. You can do this. Come on. There we go. So, Liberty, there you are. It's loading. It's loading. Thinking. Okay, so these are, whoops. It's DMC 309, because my memory, I remember that, oh, so this, yeah, so this is called Apple Fritter. This is called Apple Fritter. So the DMC for ribbon red is actually 321, which is like the classic Christmas red. I really like this Apple Fritter because it looks a little bit like, oh, so this right here is 321 up here. But this Apple Fritter I really like because it's got a raspberry in it. Now all of this is stitched, but it is literally the exact same color as my fabric, which my fabric is, did I put that in here? Joanne Ada on oatmeal, 14 count. So I'm doing 2 over 2. So I am doing all the DMC conversions, but I am using CXC thread on this. And it's a lot more poofy. Is that a good word? Yeah. I actually really like it. I really like it. So on this piece, Markup says that I have completed 1,809 stitches for a total stitch time of 7 hours and 16 minutes. I want to see what that is. Okay. So on here, let's see. 1809 divided by 7.25. Oh, so I was getting about 249 stitches per hour. Why was I thinking I was only getting, I don't know why I was thinking I was only getting about 100 stitches an hour. That might be for my more complicated pieces, but this is a lot of block stitching, so I think that's why it goes so much faster. So that's good to know. Wow, 249 stitches an hour. Wow. And here is the color I haven't taken any of these and put them on my floss rings yet, so it's a mess. But this is the color palette for all 3. I pulled out the threads for all 3 of the designs. So yeah, no. Can you get a gander of what it is? Oh, I need to put those on floss rings. You know, Sometimes, Emily. Okay. So then for this month, when WhipGo got called, it called square number 5, which is my Dino Jeep that I'm doing for Jimmy. You'll see. It's another one of my stamped kits. You'll see it in a second. And then it called square number 22, which is another patriotic cast on. So 22, patriotic, and then Dino is over here somewhere. There it is up there. So I haven't worked on my Dino one yet, but I have worked on a new patriotic stitch. And that stitch is, do you like how I'm doing? It's kind of like I'm doing some kind of jazzercise. I am stitching the picture. The semi-quincentennial flag. So that's what it's going to look like when it's all done. Isn't that fun? And you know what? I really like stitching flags. At least this one I'm really enjoying. I wonder if I can, let's see, edit, because I don't remember who. Wrought Iron Stitching. Wrought Iron Stitching is the name on Etsy that I found this. And it seems to be pretty popular. Etsy was saying that, I can't remember, but I believe there was hundreds of downloads of this. And I might stitch this twice. I don't know. But currently I have done 313 stitches for a total time of 1 hour and 49 minutes. So I guess that kind of holds true then, because I mean, that's a little less than 240 stitches an hour, but still, yeah. Here is what I have done on it so far. There you go. This was all done in an afternoon while Jimmy was sleeping on my chest during last week when he was super sick. So it's a really nice, easy stitch. So I cut out my fabric. I'm gonna make these into long pillows. And so I cut out my fabric to be able to fit 2 on here. So that I can make one for me and one for my dad, because that was my thought process. That's why I would make 2, one for me and one for dad. But you know what? When I'm done with this first one, if I feel like I'm done stitching this, then I will just make one for my dad. That's what it will be. And here we are with the color palette. So I'm again doing all the DMC, which is what she calls for on this one. So, and on my own floss drop makings, these ones are Alaska themed playing cards. So I love them. I really want to try and figure out how to make more of those like actual fancy floss drops. Oh, one thing that I did do is I made a bunch of stitch markers out of these special, I'm calling them hematite rocks that are magnetized. And I've been selling them on my Whatnot, and they're very popular. And they're very lightweight. It doesn't pull on my fabric at all, because you would think, oh, it's a rock, Emily. It's going to pull on your fabric. Look at that. See? And it's great. I love it. And it moves around nice and easy. So I really like these. I made up about 25 of them, and I think I've got about 14 left. So, and that was just from selling it on one show. So that's fun. If you want, I can put a link. I do a yarn destashing Whatnot show every Thursday. Well, actually it just depends. But every Thursday I do a show, and it's either yarn or stamped cross stitch. And then on Sundays, if I feel like it, I'll do a special show. and you never know what I'll do on that show. So yeah, last time I did it, we made I crafted their own special writing pens for them and sent those out. So that was did about 30 of those, I think. It was really fun. And I don't have my pen up here that I made for myself as an example, or I'd show it to you, but I love them. They are so easy and so easy to write with and so lightweight, and they glide just perfectly. And yeah, I just love them. Okay, so let's talk about a new cast on and this huge thing here. So I think I might have mentioned to you that I wanted to start a HADE, Heaven and Earth Design mega project. And so I did, and I am addicted. But I have to have, like right now, I'm sacrificing my perfect stitching time so that I can talk to you guys. So I cast on the mini glass. Let's pull this out some so I can get the whole thing in, then I'll zoom in some. The mini glass castle. So that's it there. And then zooming in. So that's the castle. Look at all those vibrant colors. Oh my gosh. It's so pretty. And I did a left-hand top start. Yep. So I am in the midst of all of these like mottled glass sky colors. That kind of makes you think of like golden hour, sunset, I'm thinking. Although this could be sunrise. So on this one, so far I have stitched 1,847 stitches for a total of 18 hours. So that's what I did my calculations on. So there is a total of 80,000 stitches in this, and I have completed 2.31%. So here's all my stats for you. Today is, I believe, February 10th, and I have yet to be able to pick this up in the month of February. So all of those stats are for January. And this is what it looks like. Oh, hold on. There you go. I'm stitching this on 25 count, easy grid. Let's get in close. I have been trying to do a little bit of parking, but to be honest with you, I don't really like it. And I keep getting, let's see if I can show you. No, I cut all of them away. I keep accidentally stitching some of the parked threads. Like I'll put it this way, and then my needle will catch it, and then I'll just start stitching that through on the backside. And I haven't been liking it. And I think I've mentioned to you that I am very much a color completion kind of gal. And while this might not look confetti heavy, every single one of these little stitches here, there's there's like 4 different browns or tans or things in. It's just amazing how many different colors are in every tiny little thing. I mean, I thought that the outline or the lead in the glass, the outline of each glass piece was just going to be black. I literally just thought that. Nope. It's like a million different color browns just to make up the lines. And so what I've been doing is I've been taking the first page that I'm working on, and I am letting myself color complete to a point. If it makes sense to carry the thread over to a spot, I will stitch that spot. So there's been a couple times where it's made sense to keep traveling down over here and over here. But by and large, it doesn't make much sense. So I'll just cut it off because I'm not really liking the park stitches method at all. But I am trying really, really hard to complete the little 10 by 10 squares. And I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 of those totally complete up here in this corner. So that's 400 stitches solid, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here, that's 400 stitches. Well, from here to here, right? Can you believe it? And that little tiny, that's like 2 inches long. Maybe only 1.5 inches. 400 stitches, 400. Isn't that astounding? Ah, it's amazing. But I am really, really enjoying this. And again, here's another one of my needle minders that I made. And this is a sheep. And I just have it on there. It's been working well. I did go ahead and purchase a bunch, like an entire tube worth of, I think it's size 26, I believe, needles. I think. And so that I can thread up a whole bunch. And I'm planning on making myself a needle bed minder or something like that. I'm not sure. I was thinking about taking a piece of paper, like construction paper or something, and then gluing on a piece of felt. And then I could just handwrite up above on the paper what the DMC number was, and then I could stick the needle in underneath it. Because I don't like those needle beds or those needle minder beds things from Amazon. I can't seem to figure out how to use them correctly. And I'm just tired of trying. It would be easier just for me to make my own. But I have been kitting this up. I have all the threads pulled. All the threads. There's over 90 of them. And then sometimes I will only pull out what I need and put them on the on my floss drop. And sometimes I'll just get in a mode where I don't want to stitch, but I do want to be productive, and I'll just make up a bunch. So there's lots of colors on here that I haven't used yet. Like I haven't used that blue or that blue, and I haven't used that purple there. You'd be surprised. I have used like those greens there. I have used those. And again, these are just on floss drops that I made out of a pack of playing cards, which does not have enough cards because there's only 52 and I need over 90. So technically I need 2 packs of cards to finish this up. What I've been using to create my floss drops is I got from Handcrafted by Clopton Creations. They're on Etsy. I love this shop. They are so affordable, and they have so many ingenious little doodads to help you with your stitching. This being one of them. Literally, it's like in spinning, you know, when you're trying to wind off your yarn that you've just been spinning, you put it onto a niddy noddy. There we go, niddy noddy. So this is just like a niddy noddy, but for floss. And I really, really like it. And I've been using this as my guide. So this is where I'll start wrapping around. And also this is where I use my scissors to cut everything in half. Then I pull it off of here, put it right onto here. It's so easy. I love it. It does start to hurt my arm after a while, like after, you know, the 3rd or 4th skein of floss. Look at some of these colors. I mean, look at that yellow. Isn't that crazy? Look at that orange. And it's just, and in the end, it's going to look like this beautiful piece that I'll show you yet again. I mean, you can see where the orange and stuff comes in. And it's just, oh, I can't wait to get down to the purple. Actually, what I really want to stitch on is this block of windows here. I really want to stitch on that. It's going to be fascinating. Yeah. Okay. So that's my second, I think. I can't remember if you saw the Liberty's Patriotic Stitch before. So I can't remember if that was a new start for you or not. And then the Bicentennial, or semi something centennial. That was another new, that could be number 3 for new stitches. My next stitch that I've been working on is another one of my stamped kits. This is from 121 Stitch, and I just fondly call this my Christmas train. But actually that's what it's called, and it's by the artist Farrakay. Yeah, you guys know I can't say it. I have been stitching this in hand, no hoop, and I have been having a blast with it. I think you can see everything I've stitched, but I've been focusing on the edges, and I've just been going in. Now I'm starting in on this big block area here, and this is on 16 count, so I'm using 2 threads. So, and then I have a tiny bit way over here done. I have no idea how many stitches this is, but you see this here? This is a chip clamp that I've just used, and this is a paper clamp, you know, or whatever they're called, that I've just used to hold my fabric in so I can get to the stitches, because this is just too much here. So I just been rolling it in and then clipping it, and that way I can get to the stitches where I need to be working at. I love this piece. I love it so much. You'd think I'd be getting bored of the dark stitching. I'm not at all. I really enjoy it. Oh, now I want to stitch on this. Here's all the flosses that came in the kit. They come on these floss cards that are plastic, and I'm gonna say they're reusable because I think I can make it happen. I think I can. So see, just taking something like this, which I have some more of these downstairs, and then gluing a piece of felt along that to stick the needle in. I could do that instead of paper. It's an interesting concept, Emily. Thank you, Emily. I think we should give it a try, Emily. I agree with you, Emily. So I don't know how many stitches I've stitched on that. I do know that I started this on Christmas Day, 2025. Ooh, I need to put one of my little taggy things on this. I keep forgetting. Okay. So I think you've seen my January house. That is also a stamped kit. This one is from Fairy Cross Stitch, and I did not complete it. And I did make some changes. So here is what I completed in the month of January. I cut myself off. I worked on it until the last night of January, and then I cut myself off. So I've got this all done. The house is complete. And then I changed the color of the snow to a light pink, a DMC color, which is DMC, I did this one, and it is DMC 3713. It came out a little darker than I anticipated, but I do think that that's because of the stamp behind the pink. So I think once I wash this, it'll lighten it up a bit, which I'm fine with. But I'm actually fine with it either way. I just did not want to stitch white on white. Like, why? Why? And then I did French knots for that. And then I did I tried to make the tiniest little French knots I could for his eyes. And they're a little wonky because I've never made French knots that small before, but you know, I did do that. So I think I'm about 80%, no, more than 80% done, because I really only have the snowballs and the snowflakes all around to stitch. So I've got this one, this one, this one, this one, and then a bunch up here to stitch. And then I'm done. So I think I'm more about 85% done on this one. So that'll be an easy one to complete this summer, or to, you know, whenever I feel like it, to be honest with you. So on the first day of February, I cast on my second month, which is this one. Again, from the Fairy Cross Stitch. I have the entire year of houses, and I have completed Okay, another one of my handmade stitch markers is on here. So we've got to get that out of the way. And then we, whoops. Okay, so on this one, I literally just did the bed of grass, and then I did the grass, well, I did the leaves here and up on here. So on the back, oh yeah, actually I completed this entire plant, I forgot. So I did the heart flowers in there, and then I did the hearts over here. And then I started, because the house is the same color as these flowers, so I still had a little thread left on my needle, so I just started in on the house, but I'm not carrying on with that because the houses are so much fun. I kind of like to leave them as a little treat. So I'm trying to get all the stitching done that doesn't inspire me as much, and that seems to be the ground cover. So right now I'm doing the brown for the ground. Haha, that rhymed. Actually, I literally haven't even started a stitch yet. It's in the fabric, but I haven't started a stitch yet. So, and this is another one of my needle minders that I made. I have a whole bunch of these, I don't know if you'd call them buttons or what, but they're clay. And this one is a sheep, and it's been fired and everything, and I made that into a needle minder, and I love it. I love it. I want to make a whole bunch more. So I have a friend who has a mini kiln in their house, and I was thinking about asking if I could borrow it, if they taught me how to use it, so that I could make a bunch of those. But then again, see, because the thing is, well, no, because then I'd have to also borrow her glazes and stuff. I'm going to have to give this a think. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't trust myself with doing the glazing and everything. So we'll have to see about that. Okay. Another cast on I have is my Bless This House. I'm calling it Bless This House sampler. It's from HMP Designs on Etsy. They're one of my favorite Etsy sellers. I have quite a few of their stuff cast on. Oh, it's Happy Mood Point, if you want to know. And this one, I started this 2 days ago because we weren't getting any traction on selling our condo, and I was getting pretty nervous about it. So, and plus I wanted to have a sampler, or not a sampler, but I wanted to do something like a sampler, reminiscent of a sampler, to put to stitch on while we sell our condo and look for a new house, and hopefully it'll just all work out and everything. But this is what it looks like in the end. And I forgot what her name is. Hold on. I was literally watching her while I set up. Addie's Cross and Quilts. Addie's Cross and Quilts. She's so much fun. She actually just finished this piece, and like in her, not in this week's episode, but in the week before. And I loved it. And I was like, that looks so familiar. So I went and looked in my files, and lo and behold, I had the pattern. I've been wanting to, apparently I bought this who knows when, and just needed an opportunity just to cast it on. So there was my opportunity. Okay, let's take the, it's in a grime guard that is way too big for it, but that's okay. I am stitching this on Be Stitch Me 16 count on What the Hay colorway. And I really like how it looks on here. And this is what I've done in 2 days. And I will tell you in a minute how many stitches and what percentage that is. But this was so easy and fun. The only piece that I did not enjoy doing was the vines in the green. And I can't tell you if it's because of the vines or if it's because of the color. I mean, the color looks amazing now that I've got these beautiful pops of purples and maroons and pinks in there, and brown now. But when I was stitching it, I was like, ugh, because that was the first thing on this fabric. And I was like, oh, that green is ugly. Like, I really thought it was ugly. Another one of my stitch minders on here. And then here is the color palette for the whole piece. Let's see if I can't get all of it in. So I think I'm pretty much getting all of it in there. And this is on another deck of cards. This one is Alaska's Most Wanted cards that I have. And they just, you know, they tell you different things. That not all these people are actually like criminals. Some of them are like the Eagle. A celebrity rodeo star before flying north for 25 years, Jean Keane fed hundreds of pounds of fish guts per day to flocking eagles near her motorhome on the Homer Spit during the winters. As seen on Ripley's Believe It or Not, in 2006, Homer banned eagle feeding, but an exception was made for the 82-year-old who was free to host the birds until she passed away in 2009. So she's not, like, this lady's not like a criminal. But the original way that they did these decks of cards, and I know the people who design these and sell these, was the idea was we'll do like famous criminals from like the gold rush times, but also like current criminals and stuff. And then it just kind of devolved from there. Like now it's just kind of pithy stuff. So after a couple, I think about, they've been doing that card deck now for like 20 plus years. So I have stitched on that piece 616 stitches in 5 hours and 2 minutes. Where's my thing? So see, so yet again, we're kind of getting back down to the 100 mark. Not really. Divided by 600, no, okay. 616 divided by 5. I'm not counting the 2 minutes. So I've been getting about 123 stitches per hour on this one. So yeah. And I'm at 13.2% done on this piece. So yeah, I like it. I like that one a lot. I'm really enjoying it. And I'm making it so that I'm working from this side and completing this entire side and moving over and over, because I don't want to move my hoop until I have to. So I'm telling myself, yes, you can color complete in this section, but you're not moving your hoop to color complete. So on one of my Whatnot shows, my regulars have been requesting for a while that I show them how I use my stamped kits and how I stitch on it. So I let them choose. They chose, so I did this on my Fancy Lady night, in which I just sold Fancy Lady kits. So they picked, is this Marie Antoinette? I think this is Marie Antoinette. And so I showed them how I prepare my fabric, how I prepare all my flosses and everything, and how I stitch and in what order and things like that. And so this is as far as I got that night. And I'm just stitching on DMC 310 right now. And I haven't picked this up since. So that was like, I think that was the week before we all got sick for the first time. So that's at least 3 weeks ago. So, wow, I haven't recorded in a while, have I? Whew. Okay. And last but not least, actually, I haven't stitched anything on this, so I don't even know why I'm going to show it to you. But my European Village, I think I'm showing it to you because I've been really struggling with how to hold the fabric and everything, because it's so long and everything. It's 6 feet long. And before Christmas, I got myself one of those steel or metal scroll frames from Fairy Cross Stitch, because they were just toting about how amazing it was. I cannot figure out how to get the tension on that at all. I've tried and I've tried. I cannot get the tension. I was in tears, literally in tears one day. And finally, I just decided I'm going to roll up all of this, put them in clips over here, and then here I put it in a scroll frame on what I'm working on. And then I put it away because that was all the same day and I was frustrated. So there's some you can't see so much that I've stitched on, but there's some white and there's some green that I've done. So, and this is on 18 count. I do want to pick this back up again. I've gotten kind of a bad taste in my mouth because of the whole frustration and everything around, like, how do I manage all this fabric? Like there was just a lot of frustration around that. So it's been a little bit harder for me to stitch on it because of that. But I'm gonna get back to it. I still love it. I still want the piece. So just one of these days, I am going to get back to it. Okay, I'm trying to get everything back in. Only thing I haven't gotten back in is my big Haid piece. There we go. Got a pile again. So that's really what I've been up to. There isn't really any other life updates other than being sick and stuff. So there's, you know, we're just trotting along and trying to get the house sold and trying to keep our health up. I love my family, my little wonderful little family. Jimmy and I, before he got sick, we were going on walks every day because I really need to build up the strength in my leg again. But since we've been sick the last 3 weeks, or 2.5 weeks, no, almost 3 weeks now, yeah. We haven't been out walking at all. I don't think, did we? No, I don't think, because we've just been so incredibly sick. But I've been watching all of our neighbors. They've been going out walking and stuff. So speaking of, one of my girlfriends who is a neighbor, she is visiting with her mom who her mom is amazing. We stayed with them for a little bit when we were on our honeymoon. But her mom is close to passing on. They think she's got about 2 more weeks left before she passes on. So my girlfriend's down there with her, and she has been trying to keep herself busy. And so with AI, she made this image of me and about my podcasting, if you will. So this is going to be the cover image for today's video. And so thanks, Colleen. Do you guys see what I'm eating there? I'm eating yarn cereal. She's so cute. Oh, I love her so much. So that's going to be our cover photo for today. But I'm surprised I didn't cough more and that I kept my voice this whole time. Yay, I'm getting better. All right, my dear friends, thank you so much for being here with me today. And remember to stitch what you love and love what you stitch. Ta-ta for now. Are we at Mommy's doctor?
Yeah.
Are we wearing masks because we've been sick?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want your water?
No. I feel so sick.
Yeah.
I feel so sick.
You're doing good. Oh my goodness, kid. There you go.
There's a what's a sand? Oh,
It's a sand show, huh?
It's a sand. It's really hard. The working get to the sand. I work at the sand.
Look at all that sand. Are these construction workers going to help with that?
Yeah.
Okay, how do they help?
This is a roll.
Roll. Yep, that one rolls it. Yep.
That one is the big one.
Uh-huh. And
That
that
one is a bulldozer.
bulldozer. Is that a bulldozer? No, that's a carrier guy. I don't know what that one's called.
That's a dump truck.
Dump truck, that's right. These are all ones that Grammy and Grandpa sent you for Christmas, huh?
They got a dump truck. It is a dump truck.
What is that one? Is that bulldozer? I
A
think.
bulldozer.
Bulldozer, maybe? Am I getting it right? I don't
A
know.
mystery truck.
Cement truck.
A dump truck. A
Forklift.
lift truck.
Yep.
An excavator.
Yes.
A roller.
Yeah.
First, the thing with the wind is run this away. I guess it's an excavator.
Okay.
This excavator is two things. What? Six.
There he goes. There he goes. I like that. Yeah, he's moving it good. Woo! Look at how fast he's doing it too.
Yeah, this is good.
It got really foggy outside.
Look at me go.
Look at him go. Excuse you. Oscar, you're in our shot. You're in our shot.